Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be on this red hot, actually, it's not red hot, but a very warm Wales day. The sun is shining, there's no clouds in the sky, there's a bit of a breeze, but not too much, and sit outable in shorts and t shirt. So that makes a change. We had a lovely day yesterday, and we've got another lovely day today. Let's just need a bit of a wire. Do excuse me for that. That's possibly no better. Okay, so what am I looking at today? Well, I thought it was time to revisit the Soviet years back in the USSR. I thought I would look at where we've got in this very smallish album of Soviet stamps. I'm sure it will need to be transferred to a bigger and more defined and more studious album with things in their place and a place for things. But I've managed to add a few recently. Some copies, some spares, airs and spares. There's nothing wrong with that. And when I say Soviet years, sometimes it will involve pre-Soviet, which I'll give you some examples of at the moment. So I managed to have these before. 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 4, 5, 7. And then underneath here we've got a 5 and a... I can't get rid of that bend. I cannot get rid of the bend, Captain. Come on. I'm not sure it's 100% gone, so we'll leave it on its side so it looks slightly better. So these are pre, and it's to do with the coat of arms, really. I don't think the communists were keen on the coat of arms of the Romanovs, if it is indeed the Romanov coat of arms. Also here we've got what looks to be a stamp, but may not be a stamp. It may be a tag, it may be something slightly different, and it is just before the Russian Revolution. Have a look at the back of it. It ain't bad. Yeah, so that's quite nice. 1 kopeck, possibly. And then here we've got a person or people reading a newspaper or a book. CC, it looks like it could be, I don't know, it looks CCCP, but also PC, I don't know, is the answer. If you know, let me know. 1920s, I've put a little tag there to remind me. Here we have some sort of hussar. And here we have what could be a war stamp. So we've got a man in a sort of Russian helmet sort of thing, and it does sort of fit. PCCP there, so it's a similar age. You also get them all down here. Yeah, you see it slightly better there, that helmet. And then we go into something else here. Can we see the dates on here? That looks like 31/3/28, which makes it post-war. Yeah, possibly post-war. That looks like a 19, maybe. They're interesting, aren't they? Mokba. So that's constantly Moscow. Sixth of the 12th, 23. And here we have an overprint. Not quite sure what's going on with that overprint. But it's quite nice nonetheless. And then we continue forward. PC something 1923. Oh, it's being Communist Party possibly. He looks pleased. 30 CCCP. So we've got 1923. Then Could these be before or after 23? It's a different style. 27, we're getting there. I'm not sure about that. Again, they're little stamps, they're tiny little things. So, you know, they're making them as cheap as possible because times are hard. They want the money from them, obviously, for postage and the like. Possibly most are to do with the higher-ups in the Communist Party who were sending letters. Could they read and write? Well, we were seeing a transfer of power from those who presumably could read and write into the peasantry, though it was the Communist Party who were obviously educated in themselves. You know what I mean. I'm not judging anybody. Yeah. Now we're into the 30s, so we've got some interesting little things here. This is a farm woman. Very beautiful, delicately made stamps, lithographed stamps. Just two colours, blue and white, and different shades to get the depth. And here we have what could be, I don't know, but it's got a little thingy at the top, which may or may not be of interest to collectors. It's quite nice, a block of 4 there, with a bordering. And here we have postally used. So proof, incontrovertible proof that these were used. And here we have what looks like to me an airman. And then underneath here could be a miner. So we're turning upside down. Looks like a bit of a miner, doesn't he? Those from the 1930s, I believe. Of course, I am open to contradiction. 40s have got none, however there was a war on. Then we go to the 50s. Yeah. So again, we see the PYCC coming into position there. This is 1959. Good of them to put the date on. And a bearded fellow. I think we need a beard. Here we've got Deutsches Reich, which I'm not sure should be there, so it will be removed instantly. Put there. More. Here we see the first scenery. So are we still in the 50s? Probably. So they're cottoning on. Let's show the people what we've got over here. So we've got some cliffs and a river. And can we zoom in a little bit? Yeah, I don't know what it is. But it's a place. So they're cottoning on to, it's not just about people or about propaganda, but also show people what you've got. Yeah. Could be the Kremlin. Flag. Yeah. They're sort of cutting on. We now hit the swinging 60s. Oh yeah, groovy baby. And they can't help themselves. They may be hard-nosed communists with big bushy beards and wives with big bushy beards, but they can't help but join the modern world. The swinging 60s. Groovy baby. Having said all that, that's a tractor, which is what they drove around in. And here we've got the hammer and sickle symbol. Also possibly, this is 1956 maybe, so possibly belongs elsewhere. Then we've got 1894 to 1937, which would be a bearded person. 64, that was. Cows. Cows as in the animals rather than the island white. 3k kopecks. Here we've got 1967 stamp, so planning battles and the like. So they're still grooving about war, but also we've got flowers, plants, flora, beautiful colours, birds, fish. You know, the good things in life. Oh, the good life. It's the good life. You know, the sun rising over the Kremlin, over the Lubyanka. The sun always rises at the end of the day. Here we get a bit of darkness again, and then a mountain. We all love a mountain. Then we've got what could possibly be a musician. He looks musician-y, and he died well before the revolution. Back to the Lenin propaganda types. And we go forward to what the Russians really love, which looks like chess to me. And here we have sailing boats, 1966 date. I don't know what it's doing on there. I don't even think they can... Have they got a sea that isn't iced up most of the year? Icebreakers they have. CCCP. Flowers. It's showing the soft side of communism. Also, we've got a nice painting here, which is reproduced for a stamp. Could be 1957, according to that. More propaganda. 63. Mother and child, maybe, cutting the corn. Then we go to the 70s, and we're really abandoning... Well, we're not quite abandoning propaganda, but it's more and more flowery, more and more gentle, soft. Yeah, Lenin pops up every now and again. He's going to get anniversaries, isn't he? And this is 1970. Also, workers need to be reminded, but also what looks like to be possibly games. Whether some sort of Olympic Games, and here's hammer and sickle, just to remind us, and they're quite nice. They're worthy. I do like Russian stamps. I like the older ones, obviously, because they're, you know, you're touching history, you're feeling history, you're feeling change. Here we have a lady and cars. Ladies and cars in Russia. Who'd have thought that? Oh, well, that's part of a set, 1970 set. Anything else nice here? Well, they're all nice, I think. Nice star. 1970. Etchings and ducks. Art. Then we're into the 80s. So we're coming to the end of their rule, if you will. Russia is becoming... USSR is becoming broken up. CCCP, we've got a boat, or a ship you may call it. We've got more stuff here. It's got to be Russia, isn't it? But I don't know. I should really put the AI on some of these. That is definitely Russia. You can tell by the tall grey buildings. Finland and the USSR. I say Russia, but it's Soviet Union. Flags and rainbow flag. And here we've got tulips, water lilies, possibly. Again, a nice planty thing. And then my first within the USSR of the triangle stamps, which are awkward. I'm not keen on them, but I'm old. And this is modern, isn't it? Somebody's trying to be clever there. What happens when we turn over? We have more of these. Women saluting. Blokes. Yes, some of which, we've seen these before. man in pilot there. So possibly war stamps, science, leadership, farming, planes. Those are nice. And then we come to a set of, or a set for me anyway, or an amount of stamps for me, to do with sport. And I think the market then became flooded with sporty types as the Russian Revolution was about to die and money was needed. So they gave a little bit of money from making a lot of stamps, big ones. Bigger the better. And also sport was heavy in that. We'll leave it at that for now. We'll turn to the beginning, the Soviet years, 1991. I was a bit hesitant there with 1980, a bit previous. But 1991. Have a fantastic day, everybody. I'm going back in the sun. In the super solar away sun. What's this? More. Oh yeah, proof that these go through the post. Right there. Yeah. 1968, maybe? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Any corrections you want to put, you put them down underneath. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It all helps. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Stamp collecting is fun.